Hey guys, this was supposed to be an IGTV video, but it's too long, so I decided to make it a YouTube video. So I'm sorry if I do say IGTV on this video, it's because it was meant to be on IG. But yeah, welcome. I hope you enjoy it. Please share your thoughts. I'd love to hear, what you think. So thanks. Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Ida. Now, I'm making this video, you can probably tell from the title, because of something that I feel so heavy in my heart. And in the past month, yeah, yeah, before July 4th, today is July 25th, I think. Yeah, before I went to Boston, that's how I remember the dates. Yeah, so since like a week or two before that until now, I've received, in total, I just counted from my DM, 7 DMs from ladies. And I love that you guys are able to talk to me. I appreciate that you guys are able to open up and just ask me questions, and I forever really would be, open to talk to whoever needs help. If I, like I keep saying on my YouTube channel, which you need to subscribe to if you haven't already. I always tell people I'm available to talk to someone. Yeah, you leave your DM, I will get to it. It doesn't matter how many I have. I make sure I open all my DMs, even the really nasty ones. I still open them. But hey, my point today is about what society has made females feel like, mostly in Africa, because I'm from Kenya, and that's how, that's what I really relate to. Mostly like in Kenya, like if you're married and your dude starts cheating and becoming violent, that, you're afraid to leave. That, Kwani, what will people say? I have been married for like a year or two, and this dude just started acting out. Maybe I did something to upset him. And some of the people who have reached out actually have kids in this relationship that is abusive. And I'm telling you, 7 DMs that I have counted with the same story. This man beat me, my son walked in, or my daughter walked in on him beating me, and he apologized later and he brought me flowers, and I'm like, what? And let me tell you a backstory. So I know all of you know me differently. Some of you know me from TV, some of you know me from here on Instagram, some of you know me from YouTube, and some of you know me personally. Now, I was I'll give you just a small history, and then I come to my point today. So when I was born, I found myself in a family that my dad was abusive. And if my mom has done anything for us, is the fact that she packed and left. I feel like that's the strongest thing my mother has ever done for us. Like, I was like, what, 3 or 4 years old, and I witnessed my dad being abusive to my mom. And I know my sister, I have an elder sister, her name is Jackie. I love her to death. You mess with her, you mess with me. I'm a common, you know. So I know she probably witnessed that longer because she was older than me. She's 8 years older than I am. So I'm pretty sure she witnessed it longer. But I was like 3 or 4, yeah, maybe 5, when my mom decided enough is enough. My dad was, I would say, an alcoholic, or really just enjoyed drinking to a point that, he did not function without alcohol. And so this alcohol came between the relationship and whatever, and he became abusive. Now, let me talk about children in an abusive relationship. Being from there, the things you see, the things you witness, you don't think they would be so effective in your future, like as an adult. You think, I saw these things, I'm not gonna let these things happen to me, but quite the contrary. Whoa. Hold on. So sorry about that. My lighting was acting up, so I had to turn up my side lamp. I forgot that one over there, but that one's not bothering us. Anyways, so I was talking about children in an abusive relationship, and I was like, you see these things and you're like, no, I'm not gonna allow myself to go through that, or I'm not gonna accept this as my life. But it really does affect you unless you go through some therapy, some counseling, unless something really drastic changes in your life. These things will affect you. And people don't realize that raising a child in a domestic violent household it raises either an abuser or a victim. It raises an abuser or a victim. Like, let that sink in. And so in my case, I grew up in that, and then We moved and we had a great life. My mom, oh God bless her, she did everything that she had to do for us to have a great life, and that's why we're where we are. But anyway, I grew up and I started dating, obviously, and I fell in love with this guy. He was Prince motherfucking charming. If you guys told me that this guy was something, I'll probably cut you off. Like, don't tell me my nigga's something he's not, because I know him, boo boo sweet and stuff. Now, I know I've told this story to a few people, and my friends who witnessed me being in this relationship were like, you're in a relationship with a narcissist. And I was like, first of all, block you. You know, and you know how you feel when you fall in love with someone. You don't want to hear anything negative about them, right? But fast forward to us dating, and this person telling me about, his family, and he had, of course, siblings and whatever, and he told me a story where his dad was also abusive, and his story was even crazier than mine, because they lived in a two-story apartment building, whatever, house. And he would tell me that, this man would sometimes even, some of this is graphic and I don't want to repeat it on camera, but like, he would fight the mom to a point he pushes her down the stairs, and, they would be sitting in the living room and you can hear dad, and, it's their mom. And that's a little scary. That's really traumatic for any person. I don't care how old you are or whatever. Like, can you imagine seeing your mom, like, being thrown from first floor to, that's a lot. And anyway, so when people tell you these stories, you're like, wow, yeah, that's really touching. And I shared my story too, and I was like, yeah, so my dad, this and that with my mom, and blah, blah, blah. And we had a bond. And maybe not knowing that the things that affected our lives as children are the same things that kind of brought us together. Now, fast forward into this relationship. It was great. The first year was fantastic, and then this person I was in a relationship with started becoming abusive. It just started with, like, the first time I was slapped, I was like, wait a minute, it must be this mouth. I must have said something reckless and made him angry. And we make excuses, We're like, he doesn't act like that. And he said sorry, and we moved on. And of course I didn't tell anybody. And my life being in the limelight, of course I'm not going to tell nobody, But that's the thing I'm trying to talk about now and put a stop to. We feel like, yeah, now if I tell somebody, they'll think this of me, they will say this. People will talk regardless. Can you just help yourself? And I tell people that the most important person in your life is you. Can you just, let that sink in again? The most important person in your life is you. And I didn't know that until way later. But this person stripped me off my confidence slowly by slowly. I would wear a dress and they'd be like, where are you going dressed like that? I'm like, so we're going out. They're like, so you're just going to show your knees like that, And I was like, oh my God. And abuse sometimes starts from verbal, financial. If he's the breadwinner, thank God, in my case, I had a good job and I was able to move around and whatever and just, at least run my finances. But then it got to a point that he even took over my finances. Like, if I send my mother money, he'd be angry, and that would be cause of an argument, which turns into violence. And I started getting this anxiety attacks. Every time anything happened, I got like a panic attack. And like, I know they tell you, sorry, they buy you flowers, they take you to hospital, blah, blah, blah. But my point is, when somebody is abusive, and I know we have been taught that, I hate this statement with all of me. And I wrote it down. Where did I write it down? It says, how society tells you, oh, he hits you because he loves you. Well, by the way, that, I don't care. Like, he hits you because he loves you. If he loves you, he would never hit you. Or, when he's so possessive, you're like, yeah, it's just because he loves me so much. He doesn't even let me go out with my friends anymore. He just really wants to know where I am all the time. That's not right. That's not accurate. That is not love, And I keep losing my trail of thought. But what I was saying was, in my case, of course, it became crazy as he took, like I was saying, as he took over my finances. Like, if I send my mom money, he'd be like, so you're sending money to your mother? Cause of a fight, which would turn violent, crazy and whatever. But there's a scenario that happened in my life that I remembered my dad being in the same position over my mom, and this guy was in the same position over me, and he was really like, graphic again. And that's when I was like, Kaja, this motherfucker's gonna kill me one day. And that's when I left. I packed. Actually, I did not pack. In all, God is my witness. I was going to work. I showered in the morning. I dressed up. I picked my handbag. I walked out like I was walking to work. Like I was going to work. And I never came back since. And if anything, I know I'm not telling you this story for any pity or anything. God, I'm past it. Thank you, Jesus, for therapy. Hallelujah, God. But I just packed my stuff, my handbag. I left all my stuff. And later on, he's like, where are you? Where are you? Comes to my mother's house. Of course, I went to my mother's house. Knock, knock. Where is she? Well, my mother's like, she's a grown adult. If she doesn't want to be. And that's when I opened up about, being in a relationship that was violent. I had tried talking to the pastors that were in my life at the time, and of course, sometimes, man, I really appreciate that I was born and raised as a Christian, and I know the word, at least how much I do know of it. But then sometimes the church, the amount of hypocrisy that is there is just, I can't handle. I remember one time this pastor we were talking to, and so we sat down and we were talking. Of course, I said what had happened to me, and he said what he thought I had done. Of course, there's always blame game, right? And he said, Ida is from a violent, family. And so I think her anger now streams out, and sometimes she makes me so angry that we end up fighting. First of all, if somebody tells you, you made me so angry that, first of all, you have control over your life. You have control over whatever you want to do. So you can't really make anybody do anything. So first of all, that's not accurate. And then this pastor was like, oh yeah, so she provoked you. And this guy said, yeah, so she provoked me, and that's why I hate her. I'm dead ass right now telling you, this pastor said, well, I mean, if she provoked you, I see how that would have happened. I'm like, hold up, man of God, what did you say? So you justified the action. You said, I provoked him, so he had the right to hit me? See, that's what I'm telling you, man. Like, God separately from people, just you and your relationship with God. I get that you get to church and you build, it's a good thing to build whatever it is, like learn the word or whatever, and build a good community, strong community. But if you don't have a relationship with God, by just you and God, everything else is just null and void, man. Because these pastors, evangelists, whoever, these people are also human beings, and they can pick sides. And always like this, okay, I feel like I'm going too deep into detail. I mean, I did see another pastor, and we talked like this. All this time is me trying to salvage my relationship and try to not get out of what I was in, because society will say, she left, sijui. But no, so the one thing I applaud my mom for is leaving, because the same position I saw her and the way my dad had held her down when she decided to leave is the same position I was in when I decided to leave. And so I left. Hallelujah, praise God. And and I want to say this, I guess I feel like I've really, it's 8 minutes already. My thing is, all these DMs that you guys are sending me, this was just a backstory and why I'm so passionate about this stuff. So the DMs are like, oh, I have kids with this guy, he's very violent, he controls me, he does not want me to work. Some of you, he doesn't even want you to work. And what would I do? Let me tell you, if you send me that DM, first of all, my answer will be leave, and then I will tell you what I think. It's really up to you. And whenever you feel ready, people say, I can tell you enough times, leave, but until you decide this for yourself, it's pointless, But yeah, so I would tell you leave. Like I said, you don't realize that when you put a child in this abusive relationship, you're creating, either the child will be just like the father or will be a victim, will accept it. Sometimes they say we attract things that we've seen in the past or something, I know we verbalize things and we attract that too, but also you can't attract the same people that, how your mom, this saying that says you marry somebody that reminds you of your mom, or you get married to somebody that reminds you of your dad. It's really accurate. And in my case, that was the case. This person who decided to become the same thing my dad was, was the guy I chose to have been in a relationship with. Now, it's a no from me. I don't care what this man is providing in your life. You leave and start afresh. Like I said, the most important person in your life is you. I would tell you leave, pack and leave. And society, oh my God, if you're one of those people who look at women and like, you know, you sit there and judge them because I don't understand, man. I feel like I'm just rambling right now. And you know, one of the things that was the hardest for me was telling my friends and like them believing me, because one of the things that these abusers will do, that they're very careful of their appearance in public. They won't do it in public. They're very careful. They're very upright. So you end up looking crazy and they call you crazy and you start believing it. You're like, maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm overthinking. But no, you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Like, they're so careful of their appearance. And until my friends saw this man do, because I remember there was an occasion, I had 2 girlfriends over at my house, and this man came in and blah blah blah, argument. Like I had said, hey, I'm going out with my girlfriends and we'll be back, blah blah. He even, like, we used our car, so he knew where we were going and we're coming back and whatever. We came back. He's like, where have you guys been? We were like, we told you we were going out, and my friends were spending the night over at my house. And this ended up being violent. He, like, even in front of my friends, he dragged me and, you know, and he was trying to throw me around and whatever. And my friends witnessed this. Again, I'm not even going to name them. But, you know, you witness this, and that's when your friends really start thinking, HeyA, Ida is right. This person is this, you know, person that she says he is. All the time they would think, yeah, Ida, you're crazy. Why would you, you know, even make this up or whatever? Because I talk a lot and I'm like, oh, happy-go-lucky. So people think maybe, you know, I'm just crazy and I'm making this up, but no. So yes, if you ask me about violent relationships, I'm telling you, nothing changes. They never change. If anything, it gets worse. And if you do have children in this relationship, you do them a favor and leave and talk to your children. Let them understand that this is what's happening, but it's not right. Like, can you imagine this lady wrote me and she's like, my 7-year-old son is the one who was trying to get him off of me because he was choking me and he was sitting on me. I'm like, can you imagine what the small boy is going through? You need to talk to your kids, make them understand, sure, that happened, that's not how you're supposed to treat women. I'm sorry you had to, like, can we build a society where we teach our children what's valuable? Don't teach your children to stay and persevere till he hit you because he loved you. No. Not my kids, not on my watch. At least I will tell the truth, like, this is what's happening, this is not right, we don't accept it. And I know it's not a culture that we have back in Africa, back in Kenya, but it's increasingly growing. But therapy is so important for the kids, for you, for your life. We've seen so many people go through some stuff that somebody has a good job, a good wife, life, good salary, and still ends up hanging themselves or jumping off of a building and, you know, committing suicide. Suicide, not seaside. Suicide, you know. And you know, it's a culture that we really need to embrace. Talking and just being at a good space up here. I keep saying mental health is so important. I wasn't this person that I am now. It's because I've been exposed to so many things and I'm like, so that's why it's important to be in this space, you know. And with the kids, the violence is what they will relate to love, you know. And I wrote this down. I said, you know, they will relate it. I think I just already said this. He's protected of, you know, they will relate this to love. And let's create a better future for our children. And, you know, people say, once you start working on you and you grow or like learn to create a new self-esteem, because at this point, this person he deprives you of so much self-esteem. Like, you know, he strips it away. That's the word I'm looking for. He strips away your self-esteem just slowly with all this, and, you know, all this verbal abuse as well. Just if you had a like stronger self-esteem or just self-esteem to begin with, you probably would have left way earlier, like me right now. Yes, so you try me, I'm out. Like, I already know the red flags, and it's one of those, where are you going, who are you with, blah blah blah. And I get when you're in a relationship, you have to be responsible and also accountable of each other. You're like, hey, where are you? Not where are you, come back now, but you know, telling them where you are is not the problem, please don't get me wrong, but just having a mind of your own. Like if I want to go out with my girls, be like, hey, I'm letting you know this and this date I'm going out with my, like that doesn't have to be you begging to go out, you know, it feels like some kind of prison. And that's what I came out here to say, because I cannot believe in less than a month, or in about a month, I have received 7 DMs of people who are in abusive relationships, and I will always write you and tell you what I think, and what I think is you should leave. But it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart to hear how many women are going through this. And that's why I made this video. And have I reached that healing process where I'm thinking I'm 100% okay? I don't think so. And you know, and somebody told me, actually today, somebody said, allow yourself to heal slowly. Like, don't rush it. Everybody has a healing process where sometimes some people heal in a month, some people 2, some people years, but you know, allow yourself to heal slowly. Am I healed? Yes, from that, the pain, the trauma, yes, but you know, like gradually becoming a new person, gradually healing the pain in here. Like right now, I would never, oh my God, I would never have talked about this ever, anywhere. But the fact that I'm talking about this now means I have grown, I have healed, I'm able to talk about it. I know for the people who didn't know, like, damn girl, and the people who knew are like, yes, but you better tell them. But yeah, that's why I came here today. I hope that my story will, like, I don't know, encourage someone. If anything, just one person. For that one person, this Insta story, Insta IGTV video is for. I hope you feel better, and it gets better. It gets so much better. It heals, you heal, you get back to your own self, or even a stronger version of yourself. It gets better. It gets better. It gets better. I promise it gets better. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. But yeah, so that's what I was just, that thing has pained me. Like I've read through these DMs, I'm like, guy, is this the same person? No, it's not. It's different people, but the same story. I wish we had like I wish we had a system where people would go and if we do have a system where people can go and seek for help in Kenya, please leave that down on the comment section. Here in the States, I know there's you know, there's ways to it, but man, I wish the people who are reaching out can be helped the way I feel like I have been helped, you know. And yeah, man, if you know any kind of information anywhere people can reach out, and even just for the therapy part of it, and I know therapy is expensive, but if you have any kind of information, I'm sure it will be helpful to somebody who's watching this silently, somebody who would not even comment and say, yes, I'm going through this, or whoever, just for whoever gets to watch this video. Yeah, well, thanks for listening. It's a long video, but thanks. I hope it's important and that it helped you. And yeah, ladies, it's okay. It's okay to just talk to someone. The talking helps a lot. It's okay. So feel free to find people that you know and can encourage you and can love on you through this process. Talk to someone. Please don't suffer alone. Mental health is very, very important, both for you and your kids and for your future too. And if you know somebody going through this, I hope that you send them this video. Just let them know they are not alone. I've been through it. It's okay. Talk about it. Kwani, now what? I don't have a... Okay, I have a tattoo, but I don't have like a plaster saying I went through blah, 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 so this is why. No, you know? And if anything, that shows strength. Yeah, that shows strength. That is, for those who have been asking, for the tattoo is my semicolon, a second chance at life. My heart is beating and I will love again. I promised myself this. I had not even tried to get in another relationship after all this madness, but you know, the healing is important, and promising myself, giving myself something to look forward to in the future, that, hey, listen, it's gonna be okay. It's going to be okay, and it gets okay. Like, it gets to the point where, okay, now it's okay, you know. All right, thanks for watching this video. I will see you guys around. Yeah. I feel lighter. I hope this was helpful to somebody.